Okay, so let's talk about Hyderabad's real estate market. It is absolutely on fire right now. But while everyone's busy looking at the big picture, we're going to dig a little deeper. We're got to uncover the hidden gold mines, 3 very specific niches where the really smart money is flowing. Let's get into it.
So you've got this city that's just exploding with growth. The big question is, where is the real money actually being made? It's a simple question, right? But the answer, well, it's probably not what you're thinking. It's not just about buying any old property and hoping for the best.
You know, the secret is actually hiding in plain sight. It's all about these hyper-focused micro-niches. It's kind of like this. Think of a specialist surgeon versus a general doctor. The real value, the real money, is in that intense specialization.
All right, so how does the specialization actually play out? Let's dive into our first niche. This one focuses on a really powerful force in the market, one that we're calling the global investor.
So who is this global investor? We're talking about non-resident Indians, or NRIs for short. These are your tech execs, your professionals, living and working in places like the US, the UK, or the Middle East, and they're looking to invest back home in Hyderabad, specifically in high-yield luxury properties that make their money work for them from thousands of miles away.
So why Hyderabad, of all places? Well, the numbers, they really do speak for themselves. We're talking about a staggering 16 to 20% total annual return on investment. Now, that is a figure that gets the attention of global capital, and for very good reason. So you're probably asking, how on earth do you get to that 20% number? Well, it's this awesome 1-2 punch. First, you've got solid capital appreciation, about 12 to 15% every year. Then you layer a really healthy rental yield on top of that, somewhere around 4.5 to 5.2%. It's just a fantastic combination for building wealth.
And look, this isn't just happening randomly all over the city. The demand is super concentrated in these key hotspots, places like Gachibowli, Hittech City, and Kokapet. So why here? I mean, just think about the massive corporate campuses from giants like Google and Microsoft. They're creating this constant stream of high-income tenants, and that keeps rental demand and your yields sky high.
Okay, so we've talked luxury condos. Now let's pivot to something completely different, but honestly, just as powerful. This is the backbone of our new economy. Our second niche is what we're calling the e-commerce engine. Yeah, this one is all about huge plots of land and the logistics that make our world go around. We're talking the giants, right? Amazon, Flipkart, and the developers who build for them. They're snapping up these massive parcels of land all along Hyderabad's outer ring road, the ORR, to build the warehouses and distribution centers that power all of our online shopping.
And hey, if you thought those NRI returns were impressive, get ready for this. The potential annual ROI here? A massive 18 to 30%. Yeah, you heard that right. We're shifting from high-end homes to a pure, high-growth infrastructure play.
So what's driving this insane growth? Well, this quote kind of sums it up perfectly. The crazy growth of e-commerce in India has created a demand for logistics infrastructure that we've just never seen before. It's a direct result of how all of our shopping habits have changed.
Okay, just to give you a sense of the scale we're playing with here, check out this number. 500,000 rupees. That's not the price of a property, that's the potential value of a single, qualified lead in this game. When the deals themselves are worth hundreds of crores, you can see why making the right connection is worth a fortune.
All right, for our third and final gold mine, we're circling back to residential. But this time, we're looking at the absolute tippity top of the market. This is the luxury escape.
So who's the buyer here? We're talking about high net worth individuals. You know, the local elite. These are successful entrepreneurs, top-level execs, and they're not just looking for a house, they're looking for an escape. They want those exclusive villas, those sprawling farmhouses that offer privacy, space, and a lifestyle. And this trend, it absolutely took off after the pandemic.
And guess what? That desire for space, for an escape, it translates directly into some fantastic returns. For these premium villas, we're seeing an annual ROI of 16 to 23%. So this isn't just a lifestyle buy, it's a really smart investment.
I mean, this comparison really just lays it all out, doesn't it? Your standard apartment in Hyderabad, it'll get you a respectable 8 to 10% ROI, which is great. But these premium villas, they're practically doubling that. You can see right away why the high net worth crowd is targeting this exact property type. Okay, so let's take a breath. We've got the global investor buying a fancy condo, a huge logistics company buying up land, and a local CEO buying a massive villa. They seem totally different, right? Well, let's connect the dots, because there's absolutely a pattern behind all this profit.
This right here, this is the aha moment. When you lay it all out side by side, the whole picture just clicks into place. Look at the super specific target segments, the massive ROIs, and those incredibly high lead values across the board. The common thread? Each one serves a very specific, very high-value demand. There's no shotgun approach here. It's all laser-focused, precision targeting.
So what's the secret sauce driving all of this success? Well, it really boils down to a few key things. You've got strategic infrastructure like the Outer Ring Road, you have this huge wave of global capital pouring in, you've got that targeted demand we just talked about, and this is a big one. You have favorable government policies like RERA and TS-IPASS that really reduce risk and encourage investment.
In all of this, it brings us to the core strategy, the playbook that makes it all click. Let's call it the micro-niche playbook, a strategy for authority.
So what does that actually mean? Well, it's the strategy of becoming the undisputed go-to expert for one very specific high-value slice of the market. Instead of trying to be everything to everyone, you become the only logical choice for a select few. And that's where the real power and the real profit is. And you can actually break it down into a pretty simple 3-step process. First, you've got to get hyper-specific with your targeting. Know exactly who you're talking to. Second, provide exclusive market intelligence. Give them data and insights they just can't get anywhere else. And third, forge strategic partnerships that boost your credibility. And you know what? This isn't just about real estate. This is a playbook that works in any industry.
And that's really the big takeaway here. And it brings us to the final question, the one I want to leave you with. Looking at this model of hyper-specialization and targeting high-value customers, what untapped, high-profit niches are hiding in plain sight in your industry?